A fateful encounter. Zara's heart pounded as her ship hurtled towards the alien planet's surface. Warning lights flashed and alarms blared, the acrid scent of smoke filling the cockpit. This was not how the young explorer envisioned her first solo mission. With a deafening crash, her ship slammed into the ground, skidding across the rocky terrain before coming to a jarring halt. Zara felt a sharp pain in her temple. Warm blood trickled down her face as darkness enveloped her. Hours later, she awoke to an eerie silence. The ship's systems had shut down, leaving her in complete darkness. Zara fumbled for the emergency release, her hand shaking as she pushed open the hatch. An otherworldly landscape greeted her. Towering spires of obsidian rock jutted from the ground, while luminescent plants cast an ethereal glow. In the distance, twin moons hung low on the horizon, bathing the scene in a soft silver light. As Zara surveyed the damage to her ship, a faint whimper caught her attention. She turned to see a creature lying motionless a few meters away. It resembled a wolf, but its fur shimmered with iridescent hues, and intricate patterns seemed to shift across its body. Cautiously, Zara approached the creature. It was injured, its breaths shallow and labored. A deep gash ran along its flank, oozing a viscous, metallic-smelling fluid. Despite the strangeness of the situation, Zara's compassion overtook her fear. She retrieved the emergency medkit from her ship and set to work tending the creature's wounds. As she cleaned the gash and applied a sealant, the wolf-like being stirred, its eyes fluttering open. Zara found herself transfixed by their depth, a swirling galaxy of colors that seemed to hold ancient wisdom. Over the next few days, as Zara attempted to repair her ship, she continued to care for the creature. It grew stronger, its wounds healing at an astonishing rate. An unexpected bond formed between them, a connection that transcended the boundaries of species and worlds. One night, as they sat beneath the twin moons, a voice echoed in Zara's mind. "Thank you," it said, the words clear and unmistakable. Zara stared at the creature in disbelief, realizing the voice had come from within her own head. The creature's eyes met hers, glowing with an otherworldly light. "I am Lyra," the voice continued, "and I have much to share with you, Zara of Earth." And so, the true story began, a tale of two unlikely allies drawn together by fate, embarking on a journey that would change the course of an entire world. Secrets of the Ancients. As Zara sat cross-legged on the alien soil, Lyra's voice filled her mind, weaving a tapestry of history and legend. Through a series of vivid images and emotions, the wolf-like creature shared the story of her kind. Eons ago, Lyra's species, known as the Lumina, ruled the planet Zephyria. They were a technologically advanced race, harnessing the power of the planet's unique energy to create marvels beyond imagination. Their cities were sprawling metropolises of gleaming spires and floating gardens, connected by shimmering pathways of light. But their prosperity was not to last. A cataclysmic event, known as the Great Unraveling, brought their civilization to its knees. The planet's energy, once a source of creation and wonder, turned against them. The very fabric of reality began to tear apart, unleashing chaotic forces that consumed everything in their path. In a desperate attempt to save their world, the Lumina's greatest minds came together, pooling their knowledge and resources. They created a series of artifacts, each imbued with a portion of the planet's energy, designed to stabilize the growing instability. However, before the artifacts could be activated, a group of rebels, fearful of the power they held, stole them and scattered them across the planet. In the ensuing chaos, the Lumina were nearly wiped out, reduced to a mere shadow of their former glory. As the centuries passed, the survivors clung to an ancient prophecy, a belief that a chosen one from the stars would arrive to restore balance to Zephyria. This savior would possess the strength and wisdom to recover the lost artifacts and harness their power for good. Lyra's voice grew quiet, her eyes locked on Zara. "I believe you are the one we have been waiting for," she said, her words heavy with the weight of destiny. "The artifacts call to you, drawing your ship to our world." Zara's mind reeled, trying to process the implications of Lyra's story. She had always dreamed of making a difference, of leaving her mark on the universe, but this was beyond anything she had ever imagined. As the twin moons dipped below the horizon, Zara and Lyra sat in silence, the weight of the task before them settling on their shoulders. The fate of an entire world now rested in their hands, and the journey ahead would test the limits of their courage and resolve. The quest begins. Under the first light of Zephyria's sun, Zara and Lyra prepared for their journey. They gathered supplies from Zara's damaged ship, food rations, water purification tablets, and a handheld scanner that would help them navigate the treacherous landscape. Lyra explained that the artifacts were hidden in 3 distinct regions of the planet, each presenting its own unique challenges. The first, she said, was embedded deep within the whispering forests, where the trees themselves were said to hold ancient secrets. As they set out, the weight of their task hung heavy in the air. Zara's mind raced with questions and doubts, but a glance at Lyra's determined expression quieted her fears. Together, they ventured into the unknown, the fate of a world resting on their shoulders. The whispering forests were unlike anything Zara had ever seen. Towering trees with shimmering, silver leaves stretched as far as the eye could see, their branches intertwined in an intricate canopy. As they walked, the leaves rustled in the breeze, creating a haunting melody that seemed to whisper long-forgotten truths. Lyra guided them through the forest, her senses attuned to the subtle energies that pulsed beneath the surface. As the sun dipped below the horizon, they made camp beneath a particularly large tree, its trunk wide enough to provide shelter from the cool night air. In the flickering light of their campfire, Zara and Lyra talked of their lives, their hopes, and their fears. Zara spoke of her childhood on Earth, of the stories her grandmother told her of the stars and the wonders they held. Lyra shared tales of Zephyria's golden age, of the marvels her kind had created and the price they had paid for their hubris. As the night wore on, a soft, pulsing light began to emanate from the heart of the tree. Zara and Lyra exchanged a glance, realizing they had found the first artifact. With reverent hands, they extracted the glowing orb from its resting place, feeling the thrum of ancient energy beneath their fingertips. 1 down, 2 to go. Trials and Revelations. The second artifact, according to Lyra, was hidden in the depths of the crystal caverns, a vast network of underground tunnels filled with luminescent crystals and treacherous pitfalls. As they journeyed deeper into the planet's crust, the air grew thick and heavy, the darkness broken only by the eerie glow of the crystals. Navigating the caverns proved to be a daunting task. The tunnels twisted and turned, doubling back on themselves in a dizzying labyrinth. More than once, Zara and Lyra found themselves at the edge of a sheer drop, the bottom lost in the inky blackness below. As they pressed on, the crystals began to pulse with a strange energy, reacting to their presence. Suddenly, the ground beneath their feet gave way, sending them tumbling into the darkness. They landed in a hidden chamber, the walls lined with ancient carvings and pulsing with an otherworldly light. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal, upon which rested the second artifact. As Zara reached for it, a voice rang out, echoing through the cavern. "Stop." They turned to see a group of hooded figures emerging from the shadows, their eyes glinting with suspicion and fear. The leader stepped forward, his voice trembling with emotion. "You cannot take the artifact. It is our only hope for survival." Lyra recognized them as members of a rival faction, descendants of the rebels who had stolen the artifacts long ago. They believed that the prophecy of the Chosen One was a lie, a trick designed to strip them of their power. As tensions mounted, Zara stepped forward, her voice calm and steady. She spoke of the true history of Zephyria, of the need for unity in the face of the impending disaster. Gradually, the rival faction began to listen, their hostility giving way to understanding. Together, they agreed to join forces, to work towards a common goal. With the second artifact in hand, Zara and Lyra set out for the final leg of their journey, their ranks bolstered by new allies and a renewed sense of purpose. The final stand. The third and final artifact was said to be hidden in the heart of the Tempest Plains, a vast expanse of rolling hills and swirling energy storms. As they approached the plains, the sky darkened, and the wind began to howl, whipping across the landscape with a savage fury. Zara, Lyra, and their newfound allies pressed on, battling against the elements. The energy storms grew more intense, lightning crackling across the sky and the ground heaving beneath their feet. It was as if the planet itself was fighting against them, trying to prevent them from reaching their goal. As they neared the center of the plains, a massive structure came into view, a towering monolith of obsidian stone, pulsing with an eerie red light. At its base, the rival faction's leader stood, his eyes wild with madness. "You fools!" he screamed over the howling wind. "You have doomed us all." He held aloft a strange device, a weapon of ancient design. With a sickening realization, Zara and Lyra understood that he intended to use the artifact's power to destroy the planet, rather than save it. What followed was a desperate battle, fought against the fury of the elements and the madness of a single desperate man. Zara and her allies fought with every ounce of strength and cunning they possessed, dodging energy blasts and falling debris. In the end, it was Zora who made the final stand. With a last, desperate lunge, she snatched the weapon from the leader's grasp, turning it against the monolith. The device shattered, unleashing a blinding wave of energy that swept across the plains, stabilizing the chaotic forces that threatened to tear the planet apart. As the dust settled, Zara and Lyra stood amidst the ruins, the three artifacts glowing softly in their hands. They had done it. They had saved Zephyria from destruction, proving the strength of the human spirit and the power of unity. From that day forward, Zora's name was spoken with reverence among the people of Zephyria. She had become a legend, a symbol of hope and resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. And as she looked to the stars, ready to continue her journey, Zora knew that her greatest adventure was just beginning.